Happy Victory Monday, Seahawk fans. Welcome into another edition of Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we have the latest Seattle Seahawks news and rumors, those involving an injury update on DK Metcalf, and then later on, we will talk about the possibility of the Seahawks trading for Kareem Hunt. Let's begin with DK Metcalf. The latest, according to Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll, was that the x-rays that were done on Metcalf were negative and that it looks like he is going to be okay. He left the game against the Chargers with a knee injury, and it looked pretty serious as he was carted off the field. And he was smiling when he was carted off, and immediately people thought about when he was carted a couple weeks ago against the Lions to go use the bathroom, but this time it was an actual injury. Here is the latest from Tom Pelissero of NFL Network. My understanding is the plan for Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf is to rehab his knee injury, which head coach Pete Carroll referred to as a patellar tendon issue, and see how the recovery goes. No timetable for his return yet, but no surgery as of now, which is obviously good news. So we'll continue to follow this and see what all this means and talk about what's next for the Seahawks in just one moment. Before we do, though, let's hear you, Seahawk fans. I want you to show some love for DK Metcalf. Want to see him back on the football field as soon as possible. Glad that this isn't anything more serious, that it looks like he's going to be just fine. A scare nonetheless, but it looks like he's going to be okay. So, if you want to see DK have a speedy recovery, if you want to send some love to DK, type DK in the chat to wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully we see him back on the football field very soon. Folks, this is why you subscribe to Seahawks Today for the latest injury news, rumors, and more. It's all in one place right here on the channel. Anytime there's news like this, you know that we're going to break it down and tell you exactly what's going on with your favorite team. Subscribe now for the latest happenings on your Seattle Seahawks, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment here on Seahawks Today. So, in case you missed it, Metcalf, as mentioned, was carted off the field in that win on Sunday, and it's very possible that he could even be back this week against the New York Football Giants. Now, the discussion with Metcalf, now you wonder, as he's avoided this injury, where does this team kind of go from here as far as game planning going forward? Well, you look at the depth chart for Seattle right now, and, Metcalf, he and Lockett are your top guys, right? And then D. Eskridge, getting him back a couple of weeks ago was a big deal, and getting Marquise Goodwin back was a big deal. And Young is now available as well, so with Metcalf going down, at least you have some other options that you didn't have before. Now, Metcalf wants to practice on Wednesday. Don't know how realistic that is necessarily, but if he does play this week, if we see him make a return, I mean, that would be something. And we've seen DK have his moments where he's played well this year. 31 catches, 418 yards, 2 touchdowns, and averaging close to 14 yards a reception. I mean, there was wonders about what DK Metcalf and what Tyler Lockett would look like without Russell Wilson. And Geno Smith has gotten a lot out of both these guys, and DK has still had a very solid start to the year and has been a threat everywhere he's been. Now, I'll say this. When it comes to DK, obviously you don't want to rush him back. You don't want to put him out there before he's ready. That kind of goes without saying. But the good news, no pun intended, for Seattle, is that they got a lot out of Marquise Goodwin yesterday. It makes you feel better about where this Seahawks receiving room is going forward, whether it's with or without DK Metcalf here. They have other guys that they can go to. Goodwin proved that yesterday. His stats entering Sunday, nothing too great. 6 catches for 79 yards. But yesterday against the Chargers, he put together his best game yet. 4 catches, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. Led the Seahawks in receiving. both in yardage and in touchdowns. He had a big game, a breakout performance, and he's coming off a knee injury himself. Missed that first month of the season with that knee injury, but it looks like he's good to go, and he is a deep threat in his own right. A lot of raw speed and athleticism from Marquise Goodwin, a sneaky deep threat potentially that is going to have to keep defenses honest as far as I'm concerned. So if DK can't give it a go this week, if he is out for a little while, but it doesn't look like he would be out that long, but if he is out, what's your confidence level in Seattle without DK Metcalf? If he's not around for a bit, what would you scale it at for me? 1 through 10. Let me know in the comments section how you would scale this Seahawks receiving core, where your confidence level is if they do have to play without DK Metcalf. Personally, this team still looked fine in the receiving core without DK Metcalf yesterday. The other guys stepped up. I would probably have a different answer to this question before yesterday, but based on the way the guys played when he went down, I would still put this at a relatively high number. That there's still reason to be optimistic, and the tight end room has been really good this year too. Don't forget about that. Let me know what you think. Scale it for me 1 through 10 in the comment section where your confidence level is for the Seahawks without DK Metcalf. Let's talk about Kareem Hunt now. The Browns continue to shop their number 2 running back, Kareem Hunt, and Seattle was a rumored destination. The Seahawks came up back in August. Obviously, a deal didn't get done back then, and the Browns are still looking around to find where Kareem Hunt could go next. The last 4 games for Kareem Hunt, you can see he wasn't really used much in the last 2 weeks. He did have a touchdown run on Sunday with 1 touchdown run off of 5 carries, and you can see he had 10-plus carries in week 4 and week 5, but they're not really getting what they can out of Kareem Hunt, and the tension has been kind of building there between Kareem Hunt and the Browns. If you go back to 2017, he was a Pro Bowler as a rookie with the Kansas City Chiefs, led the NFL in rushing as a rookie back then. His contract calls for him to be paid about $6.25 million this season, which he's already obviously been paid a decent portion of that already. And he will be a free agent next offseason. That's something to factor, too. Do you want to trade for a guy that's about to be a free agent anyway? And so with that said, is this something that Seattle should revisit with the Browns continuing to try to find somewhere to go with the trade deadline quickly approaching within the next couple weeks or so? Is this something that the Seahawks should reconsider? Let me know in the comments section. Type T for trade, type P for pass. I'll tell you what I think here in a moment, but I want to hear from you first if Seattle should reconsider a trade for Kareem Hunt. Personally, I would not do this type of move. Kareem Hunt has been a head case. Let's call it like it is, right? I mean, you go back to his time in Kansas City when, we've seen the videotape of what happened years ago in the hotel room, and then he lied to Andy Reid and the Chiefs organization about that. And look, Andy Reid's been a guy that's been known to give second chances, and if you can't play for Andy Reid, I don't know who you can play for, because Andy Reid has been known to be a player's coach and to have his team's back. I mean, he got kicked off a Super Bowl champion team that year. And then with the way things have gone in Cleveland gives him a second chance. They went to bat for him when they didn't have to, and now he's demanding a trade. It's like he forgot what Cleveland did for him when he had nowhere else to go. So, no, I'm not interested in Kareem Hunt. Obviously, he's a talented football player. Nobody's denying that at all. And the Seahawks running back room, we saw DJ Dallas have a bit of a breakout performance in yesterday's win, but you still don't know if you are going to get the consistency from DJ Dallas or Tony Jones. I understand where you may be concerned because you don't have that flexibility necessarily now that Rashaad Penny is out for the year. I understand where a lot of you may be coming from of wanting to find another running back, and I'm open to the discussion of looking for another running back to be the number 2 guy behind Kenneth Walker and still let DJ Dallas be effective in the passing game as a third down back. But I can tell you this right now, Kareem Hunt, That's not the guy I want. That's not the guy I would be trying to make a move for personally. I'm out. He's a head case. He's a problem. No thanks on Kareem Hunt for me personally. Who do you think the Seahawks should, if they were to add a running back? Let me know on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be. Tell me on those platforms if the Seahawks should add a running back and who should be. Would love to hear from you guys on those social media platforms, and I will see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.